So I took a little break from doing personal projects. I was working on a lot of dance costumes that I'm making. Now that it's slowing down as we get into competition season, I'm now itching to get back into like making stuff for me, and I would love to start out with making a new spring coat. Last year I made this coat. This is a cropped wool coat. It's out of this boucle fabric from Blackbird Fabrics, and it is a really nice jacket. I do find myself wearing it a lot. As much as I love this jacket, I do love just making jackets in general, and also have a need for a jacket that's a little bit lighter and just a different shape. There's a few jackets that I'm pulling inspiration from. I found a bunch on Pinterest. I really love a contrast with the collar and the cuff, so I'm going to take inspiration from that. I found this one jacket online that I absolutely fell in love with, and I would just love to try to recreate it for myself. These two colors, this is Sage and this is Ocean. I originally was really wanting to pair these two together, but I also have bought something else. But I also have this organic cotton duck canvas from Blackbird Fabrics as well. I've been missing out on light colored jackets, so I'm kind of leaning towards this as a base. The easiest thing that I can do is just draw out all of the options into Procreate to see what color combinations I like the best. I first started out by drawing all three bases and then using different color combinations for the collar and the pockets. I feel like the blue base is just not the right option currently. So my two options left are the green and the cream. The unfortunate thing with me is that sometimes I feel like when I can't decide on one option, I try to make both of them work. And so I think that's what we're gonna try to do today. So I started making the mock-up based off of the old pattern that I have from last year's spring coat. Very crude, but I just wanted to see if this pattern would work with the design that I have in mind. Now everything's cut out and it's time to put it all together. Let's just do that really quick. There we go. Okay, so it is very, very crude. I didn't intentionally pick out these fabrics because they look like the final version, but I mean, if the boot fits, let's see how this fits. Right now, I just feel very wide in this, and that's not what I want. What I'm going to do is rifle through some of my current pieces of clothing to find something that will, one, fit me nicer in the shoulders across here. Because yeah, right now I just feel like I am a big semicircle going around here. That's not really what I want. I want to be more structured and fitted, so we're going to see if we can find something else. So new plan. We're gonna take this other coat that I have that fits me in the correct way that I want it to, and we're going to copy almost everything about it. We are going to do something a little bit better. Oh, it does have a collar. All right, let's do it all again. Second mock-up done, and I'm feeling much better about this one. We're doing good, so now I think it's time to make the final adjustments to the pattern pieces and then get to cutting the actual fabric. The last pattern I'm making is the pocket pattern. So I am following a tutorial from Lena Britt Artist. She has a beautiful tutorial on how to sew a coat welt pocket, and I really liked what she did. I want to put it into this design. So I am making the lining of the pocket. Because I cut the hole for where the pocket is going to go, I'm laying it onto my new paper and aligning it where it feels comfiest for my hand to fit into a pocket. I'm a very visual person. Something that helps me, especially with these like reversible projects, is making color coordinations, especially when it comes to cutting, because I don't want to be the one to make a mistake and then waste fabric. So I want to get things right the first time. For security's sake, I like to color code everything, so I have a green highlighter and then a yellow highlighter will represent green fabric and cream fabric. And then I'm going to make little dots on how many of the green I need versus how many of the cream I need. Might help you if you're like me and you need a little bit of reminding. It's time to cut out some fabric. So I have Blackbird Fabrics, their washed cotton canvas. This is the organic version in the color Natural, as well as the regular version in the color Sage. These two colors are so beautiful, and I cannot wait to have them in a wonderful spring coat. So let's get to cutting. This fabric cuts like butter. It was honestly such a nice process to just like get all my pattern pieces laid out, get my scissors, and just cut away. Not gonna lie, after a while I did have quite the bit of a hand cramp, but I mean, it comes with the territory of cutting out canvas. Especially when I'm cutting through 4 layers like these sleeves. So after 2 days of pattern making and mock-ups, we finally come to having all the fabric cut. I'm going to get back at this tomorrow and we can get started on making the coat.
The next day.
Good morning. So this morning I woke up and decided that to get some work done in preparation for today and like getting some like good work done on the coat, I was gonna iron everything just to prep it. And as I'm ironing this, I'm like, oh, these marks are like really deep set in there. I wonder if they would come out in the wash. And then I realized I didn't pre-wash this fabric. Before I sew it all up, I think I'm going to do a test square and measure it out to like 2 inches by 2 inches square and put it through the wash and even maybe through the dryer and see if we have any shrinkage, because that can cause some problems when you're trying to make a coat. So now they are both done drying. This one was in the washing machine alone, and this one was in both the washing machine and the dryer, and they have not shrunk whatsoever. So we don't need to worry about that anymore. We can just keep moving on, which is the next thing. We're going to be making some welt pockets. So I did do one side of the jacket last night just to practice, to make sure that like I could get the concept of it. I'm going to link down the tutorial that I'm following just because they explain it and show it so much nicer than I can. But that is the process that I'm going to be following right now. So roll the clips. I started by ironing down interfacing on the wrong side of the fabric, and then I ironed down the fold of the welt pocket flap. Then I added interfacing. I cannot do this part alone. Really, the tutorial is just so good. As much as I'm showing you the clips and process of me doing it, really, I just recommend that you follow that one because they explain it so much better than I can say in words. So thank you again to Lena Britt Artist for making that tutorial because it was so helpful. Look how nice these look. I'm so proud. These pockets are beautiful and done, and now I'm going to attach each front piece to its corresponding back yoke. Next thing to do is attach the front pieces to the back yoke, and all I'm doing is pinning these pieces together at the shoulder seams. I'm also sewing everything with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Because the piece that I'm going to attach to this yoke has a box pleat in it, and I want the box pleats to match up on both sides, so that way it's not really bulky right in the middle here. I'm going to attach the back pieces only about 2 inches from each side, so that way I can attach them to the sleeves. So I'm just going to cut in here and say that the box pleats should have been done separately and attached to the yokes at this point in time, because as you can see from these photos, it looks a little weird when the opposite box pleat is done. So I'm going to fix this right now. I did do this later on in the video. I'm just putting the clips right here so you know what to do if you're following along this tutorial or if you're just along for the ride. I definitely should have done the box pleats at this point in time and attach them separately. Next thing I'm going to do is attach the sleeves. I'm attaching the sleeves into the arm side, and then I'm just doing some clips into the fabric so that it can stretch a little bit nicer. You can always do a gathered stitch across here to kind of ease in the fabric, but I didn't mind the look of some pleats along the sleeve, so I just kind of did it by eye and pinned it along. Okay, sleeves attached. And let's try on the other one. Ooh. This side is turning out really nice. I do love this green color, but I originally thought that the cream color was going to be my favorite because it reminds me the most of the ending of The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan when she's going back to London and she's wearing a coat that's very similar in color combination to that one. Next thing I'm going to do is sew the decoration ties and turn them inside out.
So I'm going to start sewing around all of the ties with a 1/2 inch seam allowance and then clipping away one side of the edge and turning it inside out, ironing it down, and then top stitching around to make 4 little ties to attach to my coat. I wasn't quite sure where I wanted them to sit, so I just decided to put the coat onto my mannequin and see how things looked with the collar as well as the buttons.
I'm just going to do a straight stitch here, and then we can work on getting the collar ready.
I sewed the collar pieces good sides together and then clipped, trimmed, turned it inside out, and then it was ready.
I look a mess right now, and we're just gonna keep going. The next thing that our collar is nicely pressed and ready is going to be combining all 3 elements together. This can be a little bit tricky just because you're dealing with a lot of curves and turns and dealing with an inside out garment. We're just gonna go nice and slow and ease into it. First thing that you're going to do is make sure that you know what side of the collar goes with what side of the fabric. So if I pinned the green side to the cream side, I would end up with a cream collar. So I don't want to do that, so I'm going to match up my sides color to color so that way the correct collar is out. My collar is going to start 1.5 inches from the front edge, so I'm going to line up the collar at that point and pin all the way around.
This process looks a lot harder than it is. I'm just matching up the collar pieces to the notches and then sewing across one side and doing the same thing to the other side.
Then I'm going to match up this notch.
After that was all done, I was going to connect the front edges by pinning them together and then sewing from where the collar attaches all the way down the front and to the bottom edge.
Alright, here we go. First time having it all attached together, and we are going to turn it inside out. So this is going to be the magic part, so let's get ready. Right now, it just looks like a bundle of fabric, but with a little... So now we have a coat that is fully reversible, but we still have to do all the finishing touches, so let's get back to that. What I'm going to do is sew across the front edge and then go in and stitch in the ditch along the collar neckline, and then go down the other front edge of the coat. Now the way to make it so that the stitching matches on either side, I'm going to be sewing from the green side on the top, and I have a green thread feeding through my needle, and then on the underside I have a cream base, so I'm going to be using cream thread for my bobbin. Then I'm just going to go across the collar afterwards for some nice crisp stitching.
I'm also tacking down the ties just so that they don't flip around and move on me. I don't really want to deal with the fuss of that.
So now I have to make the sleeve cuffs. From this notch all the way up, over, down this raw edge, and down this edge. Then all we have to do is clip the corners, turn it inside out, and then it's ready to attach to our coat. And I did make sure that I mirrored them so that each side has a short side mirroring the other. I'm going to match up the sleeve edges and then just do a running stitch around them to combine both layers, so the green and the cream layer, before we do a little bit of pinching so that we can insert this raw edge into our new and beautiful cuff. I made notches on both sides of the seams, and I'm going to take the notches that are closest to the back side of the sleeve to fold them inside.
I'm not 100% sure why this was the hardest part of making this coat. I don't know what I could have done to make it easier, if it would have been doing the cuffs first or making them in a different way, but I think it just with the lack of stretch of the material as well as the circumference of these cuffs, it was just quite a hard thing to maneuver around. But with some nice top stitching, it got the job done and we're good to go.
We're almost done this jacket, and the next step that I'm going to do is actually hem it. I should have done this before I did all the top stitching on top of it, but we're going to just pick out the stitches and try again. I've just taken out the top stitching of this front edge of the coat, probably about 5 or so inches, and I'm going to turn it inside out. Because the bottom of this coat is still open, it makes it very easy to do this step. I'm going to turn it inside out and match up the edges. Making a 90-degree angle with this front edge, I'm going to stitch across the hem about 5 inches or so, and then I'm going to clip the corners and turn it inside out. I'm going to do this on both sides of the front edge of the coat. I'm going to turn the seam allowance a 1/2 inch across the entire hem of the coat, and then I'm going to do a top stitch all the way around to connect everything together.
The last few steps were just attaching the buttonholes. I did the same trick with doing one color thread on either side and matching it up. And be very careful when you use a seam ripper to open up these buttonholes. I got very lucky on this go, but I was not so lucky on the next buttonhole that I made when I fully sliced through it with my seam ripper, so be very careful.
These are the buttons that I'm going to be using for both sides of the jackets. I have 4 buttons that are going to be for the front edge of the coat, and then I have 2 buttons that are going to be on the cuffs. I'm going to be using the brown buttons for the cream exterior. I'm going to be using these like blue navy buttons for the green side. They didn't have enough brown ones at the store, so we're going to be mixing and matching.
So the trick I found with making these double buttonholes on one on each side is that it's better to not have them fully lined up. When I did line them up completely, it was really hard to get any wiggle room because they were pushing against each other and didn't have any flexibility. So I offset them probably about 1 centimeter away, and that really helped a lot. So I start from one buttonhole, move it just a tiny bit over so that you can still use the same buttonholes and go back and forth right behind the previous buttonhole. But I'm very happy that this worked out the way that it did, and both buttonholes are perfectly fine and useful. But now it is time for the final results.
The purpose of me making clothing with alternate looks is mainly just for the fact that I like the challenge of seeing if I can do it. So this was definitely a win. I love how this one turned out. Instead of me making just like a single layered coat with like a regular lining, this is definitely a little bit more heavy and a little bit more durable, which is nice for especially spring. Where I live, it's very windy, and so although the sun can be shining, it is still very cold to be outside. So having a little bit of extra protection and layers really helps. The one thing that like I'm super happy with is the pockets. I think that they turned out perfect. I'm going to link the tutorial that I watched in the description. It was so helpful, just clear, concise. In the future, I will definitely follow that video again. I think if I were to make any changes with this coat, I might create a separate hem, because I feel like sometimes when you connect 2 layers together, especially 2 very sturdy layers, sometimes they just don't want to sit right, and so you can get a little bit of like a puckering at the bottom hem. Whereas if you just left the hem double turned and separate, then each layer can be free flowing and not have that look at the bottom. So something to think about in the future if I ever try to do this again. But in all honesty, I love how this turned out. I also made a matching hood that is reversible as well. So it just attaches with 3 snaps at the front and then 1 at the back just to keep it locked in place. And I think it's just a nice touch. I have a little bit more fabric left over that I've been kind of wanting to make like a matching set with this coat, the hood, and then maybe a pair of shorts to wear with it. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I'll be posting up updates on those projects there, as well as the continuous project that is redecorating and reorganizing my sewing room. If you like this video, please subscribe, give me a like, and then until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye. As a parent, is it our job to catch all of the colds that our kids bring home and then still pretend like we're not sick and continue and carry out our day as if we're okay? Because that's what it kind of feels like right now.